Okay, so I am a senior integration consultant at Infosys. So I have overall 12 years of experience, ranging from different integration product suites from IBM B2B Standing Integrator, TIPCO, and then MuleSoft. I'm a MuleSoft mentor and a MuleSoft certified integration architect. Okay, so I love to share my knowledge, and I'm running a LinkedIn page, Your Integration Buddy, where I post daily MuleSoft related quiz. So you can follow that page and enhance your knowledge on MuleSoft. And also I'm running my YouTube channel, Your Integration Buddy, where I keep on posting the video tutorials on MuleSoft. So you can follow that as well. Okay, that's pretty much about me. So today, so this is the today's agenda. So what we are going to learn today. So we will first of all see what is the problem which Universal API management is addressing. Okay, what prompted MuleSoft to bring it Universal API management into MuleSoft. Okay, what purpose it is serving. Okay, how it is solving the problem, and what are different components which MuleSoft has newly introduced with Universal API management, like the API Catalog CLI, API Governance, and Flex Gateway. Okay, and in the end, we will have a Q&A session. But obviously, like if you have questions in between, you can anytime ask me. Okay. So, what is the problem which we are trying to solve over here using Universal API management? Okay. So, as you know that in recent times, right, API-led connectivity like has become really popular. Okay, and like more and more organizations are following the API-led connectivity approach in their integration landscapes. Okay, so this has led to like spreading of the APIs. Okay, so like more and more APIs being used over here. So that's a good thing, right? So that's a good thing. Like API-led connectivity has its own pros, right? So that's why more and more businesses are following that architecture. But on the downside, as more and more APIs are like are getting developed in any organization, it has brought some of its cons as well with it. Okay, so like it is limited visibility and access to existing APIs. Okay, so as different teams like work in silos to develop their APIs, and like there may be like duplicacy of work else also, right? So one API, so the duplicacy of work also, there is very limited visibility. According to recent research, only like 6 to 70% of the APIs which are getting used properly in an organization. Okay, so they have, because more and more APIs are being developed and there's no centralized system to manage them, so it is leading to like only limited visibility and limited access to existing APIs. So APIs are not properly getting used. Okay, then the thing is that so different teams with an organization may follow different architectural patterns. Okay, they may use different vendor specific platforms like Azure API Gateway, AWS API Gateway, like to develop all these APIs. So there is no consistency in the development of the APIs. There are no consistency in enforcement of the security and governance rules. Okay, so some teams might be following up a different set of security practices, some other teams may be following up a different set of practices. So lack of inconsistency in the enforcement of security and governance is another issue over here, which we are seeing with the API sprawling. Okay, and then obviously like it will be, if because the siloed best practices are followed, right? So it will definitely lead to slowed pace of change. Okay, and then definitely there will be issues in troubleshooting the operations, right? When something goes wrong, then definitely it will be leading to complex, because already there is so much complexity involved in the API landscape, and which is already increasing, and then there will be difficulty in troubleshooting the issues as well. Okay, and then there is no centrally managed catalog with all the APIs. Okay, so there is no central catalog where I can just go and see, okay, these are the APIs in my organization. So organizations are lacking these capabilities. Okay, there is no proper maintaining of the API versions and documentations. Okay, so lack of the best practices or lack of the security policies also. Okay, so these are the some of the problems which are associated with the API sprawling. Okay, so Universal API management aims to address all these problems. Okay, so with the help of Universal API management, you can discover the APIs. Okay, on which platform they have been built or developed, doesn't matter. You can govern them, apply the policies, consistent enforcement of all the security policies. You can deploy them, you can manage them, and then definitely you can engage with them. Okay, so what is universal API management? So it is a collection of new and existing products. Okay, so some of the existing products MuleSoft has enhanced, and some of the products MuleSoft has introduced, like the Anypoint Flex Gateway, Anypoint Catalog CLI, and uh, yep, and API governance. Okay, so it universal in API management enables us to have a single control plane. Okay, so single control plane to enable the visibility, flexible management, and governance at large scale. So we have with this universal API management, we will be bringing all the APIs within an organization into a single umbrella. Okay, so it won't be like that. Okay, we are using different vendor specific gateways like to manage the APIs, such as API, Azure API gateway or AWS API gateway. Nothing like that. It'll be single set of single umbrella to manage all the APIs. Okay, so it is the next evolution of API management, and it's opening the scope of full lifecycle management capabilities to APIs that are built and deployed anywhere. So wherever which tool you build API, whichever architecture you follow, or whatever where it is, where theirs are deployed, like they're deployed in VMs or they are deployed in a containerized solution. So it doesn't matter. So wherever they are deployed, whichever architecture it's used to build them, does not matter. Okay, with universal API management, you can manage the complete life cycle of the APIs. Okay, and then lastly, with universal API management, we'll be able to work with APIs of any region. So as I told, any architecture or environment. Okay, while engaging with the internal or external API ecosystems. Okay, you can see over here. So we have the endpoint platform, and we are just able to discover, govern, deploy, manage, and engage with all the APIs. Okay, under the single platform. So as I told you, so there are some of the existing products that has been enhanced to support universal API management, and there are some new products that have been introduced. So to accelerate the application delivery over here, like so that developers can more collaborate with each other to develop the APIs more easily. Okay, and it will be if we have MuleSoft enhanced the API Design Center, so that now it supports the GraphQL as well and async APIs development as well, and it has enhanced the Anypoint CLI to have the API Catalog CLI. Okay, with the help of API Catalog CLI, we can have the APIs cataloged into a single place, which is an exchange. So exchange will be acting as a single source of truth for all the APIs. So I'll show you in demo how do we catalog the APIs. Okay, then how do we build the modern architectures and applications? So we have the Flex Gateway over here. Okay, with the help of Flex Gateway, we'll be able to manage, secure, and govern all the APIs. Okay, I'll show you in demo how to set up the Flex Gateway as well. Then the new product which has been introduced is the API governance. So as I told, like the organizations lack the consistent security and governance policies. Okay, so they might have each team might be having the different set of security and governance policies. They might be doing the manual checks. Okay, our APIs are conformant to these rules or not. Okay, so now these things can go away with the introduction of the API governance. So API governance brings you ready-made rule sets. Okay, so the rule sets related to security best practices or HTTPS enforcement. So there are different rule sets that are in there, and we can with the help of API governance, we can get to know that whether our APIs are conformant to these rule sets or not. Okay, then thirdly, the create vibrant API ecosystems. So if we publish like our assets to Exchange, then they can expose to the API community manager, which is set up on the Salesforce Community Cloud. Okay, to more for more collaboration between different set of users. Okay, and then we have something new, which is API Experience Hub. So a couple of days back, MuleSoft released the new features API Experience Hub as well. So I have not didn't get a chance to read much about that, but yes, I think in the coming time we can learn more about it. But on a high level, it allows to easily build the developer portals. Okay, API Experience Hub. Okay, so coming on to the API catalog CLI. Okay, so it's a new product which is introduced by MuleSoft. So with the help of API catalog CLI, we are able to discover and catalog API documentations, API definitions, their documentation files, and associated metadata as a part of an automated process. Okay, so as I told, like wherever this API sorry, so will be the help of the API catalog CLI, we can discover the APIs, okay, their related documentation files, and keep them in exchange. Okay, so API catalog CLI will be helping us to catalog this all these APIs into exchange. So exchange will be then acting as a single source of truth for the organization. Okay, so since the manually putting all these APIs into exchange with the help of API catalog CLI will be a tedious process, right? So that's why the automation is in place. So using the CI/CD pipeline or custom scripts, we can automatically trigger and publish the API assets to AnyPoint Exchange. Okay, and this AnyPoint catalog CLI is agnostic of CI/CD tools and runtime environments. So you can use any CI/CD tools like Jenkins, GitLab, whatever you want to use, and it is agnostic of the runtime environment as well. So wherever the application APIs are running, whether they are running on the VMs or on-premises data center, doesn't matter. So API catalog CLI is agnostic of the CI/CD tools you use and wherever the APIs are running. Okay. So with the help of API catalog CLI, you can have all these APIs cataloged into our AnyPoint Exchange. Okay, so there are two options presented over here. How do we catalog the APIs? Okay, so first one is to catalog the APIs from my computer system. Okay, here we will use a descriptor file, and in that file we mention which are the APIs to catalog, and then we are using the publish asset command. We can publish the APIs to our AnyPoint Exchange. Then definitely, like, it's a manual process, right? We have to write the commands in our command line to do all these steps. Okay, but the second thing is to reduce the manual effort and the manual errors. We can auto publish as well. So whatever steps we will be manually doing in the first option, these will be automatically done with the help of CI/CD pipelines. Okay, so the steps will remain the same. The only difference is that with the help of CI/CD pipelines, those will be automated. Okay, whenever a new API comes in, okay, the pipeline will be automatically kicked off to publish into the AnyPoint Exchange. Okay, so today in this demo will be I'll be showing the option number one. Okay, so which will be consisting of how to catalog the APIs from my local computer. Okay, and but yes, as I told, like in with the help of CI/CD pipelines, you can just automate the process. The process which I am going to show, it will remain the same. It's just like that. With the CI/CD pipelines, you can automatically run that. Okay, so now I'll be heading over to demo of API catalog CLI. So any questions would you like to ask before I proceed with the demo?
So there is no question in the chat. Maybe people can unmute yourself and can ask the question if there is any. You can proceed further. No question.
Okay, Sham, sure. Okay, so just to help myself and everyone in this session, I've just noted down the points what we need to run the to catalog the APIs from my local system. So first and foremost, we should have the Node.js and npm installed in my system. So you can just go to this site nodejs.org and download the uh, latest versions of npm and the node.js. Okay, so I have already done that. Okay, because I was getting ready to show a demo for this session, so I have already installed the latest version of node.js and npm. So how do we check that? Okay, I can just show you. So you can just node v, so it is a version 18.16 for node.js, and then npm we have the 9.5.1. Okay, and then after installing the node.js and npm, which are prerequisites to install the API catalog CLI, so we have to then install the latest version of API catalog CLI, which I have already done. Okay, and this is the command to do that: npm install -g api catalog cli at the latest. I'll share this document after this call with everyone so that you can also take a look after this session. And this is the command to check whether the API catalog has been it's been installed or not. So I'll just go over here and check API. Okay, so see, it's there, it's already installed, and this is the version 1.1.0. Okay, and this is the Node.js version. This is the command which we can use with the API catalog: autocomplete, conf, create descriptor, publish asset, update descriptor. So we'll go through these commands now. Okay, so now first and foremost we will have to have the API specs which we need to catalog. Okay, so I have already prepared two API specs. First one is the patstore.yaml. Just open it. Second is shipping.yaml. Okay, so here we have developed these API specs in OS specification, so Open API 3.0.0. Okay, shipping API description, and then these are the different methods which we'll be having in this API specs. Similar thing for the pet store as well. Okay, so now the objective is, see, these two APIs we have to catalog in our AnyPoint exchange. Okay, so we'll be using the API catalog CLI. So the first step to do that is to create a catalog.yaml. So what will catalog.yaml will have? So catalog.yaml, it will be having the metadata about these APIs. Okay, so let me just run this command and just see the output. Okay, so I have put in these APIs over here, AnyPoint catalog. So I'll just run this command over in this API catalog, create a descriptor file. So catalog.yaml that will be created, that is will be calling as a descriptor file. Okay, so if I open that, you see, so it is having the path to the API specs. It's not necessary that I need to keep it, all these APIs in this folder, so it can browse inside the folders as well. Okay, we can have the nested folder structures as well. Okay, so petstore.yaml asset ID. So as from where the asset ID is coming, so asset ID is coming from a title, Swagger Pet Store. Okay, version is 1.0.0 and API version is v1. Okay, so you see over here a version is 1.0.0 and the version, and from there it has concluded that the API version will be v1. Okay, v1 and 1.0.0. Similar thing for the shipping API.yaml. Okay, so now we have the API, we have the catalog.yaml created. We'll go to the next step. So the next step is to like update catalog YAML. I'll come to it later on. Okay, so first of all, we have to see we have whether we have the API contributor permissions in the access management. Okay, so if I go over here in the access management under users, API catalog, see, I already have this permission set up, API catalog contributor. So this permission is necessary to publish the assets into Exchange. Okay. So after that, we have three options to publish the APIs into the Exchange. Okay. First one is we can use the AnyPoint username and password and the org ID. Okay. And the second one is the connected app client ID, secret, and organization ID. And third one is the using the bearer token. Okay, so bearer token you can get it using the platform API. So I have mentioned the link over here. So those who are not aware how to get the bearer token, we can just pass our username and password and then get the bearer token. So this is the link where it's explained how to get the bearer token. So either of three options can be used to publish the assets into exchange. So for this demo, I have taken the first one. So API catalog, username, password, and organization ID. So I'll be using it as using this command to publish the assets. Okay, so this is a IP catalog. Publish asset host is anypoint.mulesoft.com. Organization ID I have taken it from here, so you can like there's multiple ways to find the organization ID, but we can simply see in the browser. Here it is 42828C. So you see over here 42828C. Okay, this is the organization ID, and then we have the username Vikas hyphen meetup, and the password is meetup at 123. I'll just use this command. Okay, it has picked up the first API and it's publishing to Exchange. Okay, the first one is published. We can just go to Exchange. You see over here, Swagger Pet Store have come up. Okay, now it's publishing the second API. Okay, so both the APIs have been published. Okay, so now you see over here in the catalog.yml file we have very limited information like asset id, version, API version. Okay, so but see, the objective of this anypoint's catalog CLI is obviously is to have the catalog of the APIs to be created in Exchange. But apart from that, it can help to add various documentation related features as well, like the tagging, the email, the contact names, the documentation. So all those things can also be added in the YAML file. So I'll just show you quickly how we can add an email contact as well as the tags for these APIs. Okay, so just a second and just so I'm just adding this metadata over here. Contact name Vikas Sharma, email is my email, and then there is a tax. Similar thing, just add over here. Okay, so pet store is this one. This is one. It's our shipping. Okay, so now the updation has been done to the catalog YAML, so we can again publish these APIs. And if you run this command again and there are no changes in the catalog.yml, then or in the API specs, it will not publish anything. It will just say that okay, there are nothing new to publish to Exchange. Okay, I'll let it publish second also.
One quick question, Vikas. So, if we make any changes in the specification, should we create this descriptor file or catalog.ml after every change?
Sorry, it's called background noise. Can you come again, please?
Yeah. So, whenever there is any change in specification, right? Should we recreate this catalog.ml file to make it under some changes to my specification file.
No, like the changes will automatically picked up now when you have the or when you have that CI/CD in place, right? So whenever whenever there is any change in the API specification, that change will automatically be picked up with the CI/CD pipelines, and then definitely like it, this asset publish, this API catalog publish command will automatically get triggered. So it's no need of any doing anything manual. It's with the help of CI/CD pipeline. You can just have this in automated way. For now, like I'm showing you in manual way, but these steps can be just be automated in our through CI/CD pipelines. So from there, no need of any manual thing. Whenever you add new API or you do a change in the API, these steps will automatically trigger with the help of the CI/CD pipeline.
Okay, thanks.
I have mentioned the link over here, okay, because I was not having the CI/CD pipeline set up on my system. Maybe I can, like after the session, or maybe I can sometime I can prepare tutorial as well on that. So, but for now, I have put in this tutorial over here, okay. To we could just go through this tutorial and see how to set up the CI/CD pipeline. So steps will remain the same as I told. It will just be automated. So no need to track anything. Whenever you make any change, these steps will get automatically triggered.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. I think it is not getting refreshed. Maybe just a second. It's coming 5 minutes. Okay. Let me do a change as well over here. Shipping API. Just make the version as 4. And sorry, not here. Version will be in the 3. Version is 3. And here version is 2. Okay. And then we just go ahead and update the catalogs. API. Update the descriptor file. I just made a changes in that the API specs. So we can create it again as well. No worries. It will just overwrite whatever was existing. Okay. So you see over here. So this new file has been generated. Catalog.yml. Wait a second, guys. Let me just remove them. Okay. Now you see over here the catalog.yml has been created. Okay, so I'll just add that tag and email contact again. I think there was some issue. I think the multiple commands open, so I did not execute those commands at proper place. So I'll just go ahead and add that contact and tag again. Okay, just bear with me for a minute. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so shipping, and there is a pet store. Okay. Okay, so there's nothing to modify because I already saved the changes. So I just go ahead and publish these APIs now. Now you will see over here uh, the tags and email and contact will also appear over here. You see, the tags have also come over here, pet store and SAPI, and the email contact and my name has also come over here. Okay, so in this way, you can edit the descriptor file, which is the catalog.yaml, to have the various attributes loaded into the endpoint exchange. Okay, so similar to shipping API as well. You see, my contact and email has come over here. Okay, I think it's also getting uploaded maybe. Okay, just a second, let me just refresh. Shipping. See, my contact and email has come up and tags have also come up, shipping and SAPI. Okay, so you can just similar to this, you can add the uh, documentation also. Okay, in this catalog.yaml, and that documentation will also appear in the anypoint exchange. Okay, so yeah, these are all the steps which I performed, okay, to create the descriptor file, okay, and then uploading it to the exchange. Okay, so yeah, so that's pretty much about the anypoint API catalog CLI. So any questions, guys, before we move forward to API governance?
No question in the chat.
Yes,
Okay,
just a second. I have a question.
yeah,
What is the correct way, like correct place to run the catalog descriptor generator command?
here it is,
What is
the folder, like I was in this folder, right? So you can have
okay?
this folder over here. From here you can launch the command line and create the YAML over here outside the parent folder where the APIs are placed.
Okay, it means we need to put all the API in the in the central folder, right?
Yeah, like it's like like for easy understanding, basically it's like it will, if I put all the API specs in the same place, so it will be looking quite clumsy, right? So
Yes.
that's why, like, I have created this main parent folder, and inside it I create this catalog.yaml, and then inside the various folders, as a you can create that, you can have separate API specs placed.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Okay, fine. Then I think we can move to the next topic, which is the API governance. So today also, like, we enforce certain policies, okay, or the API, some of the best practices we have documented, right? And whenever we design the API specs, then someone manually verify, okay, our specific API specifications like meet these different security features, security policies, or any other policies or not. Okay, so there might be chances of human error as well, right, in this process. Sometimes these may not get checked properly, or sometimes somebody can skip these checks. Okay, so to combat that, what MuleSoft has done, it has brought in API governance. Okay, so API governance, it will govern every API, okay, to comply with best industries, best standards, best regulation policies, and it will improve the API conformance, Okay, so whatever the APIs which are not conforming to the quality or security standards, so there are pre-built rule sets which MuleSoft has provided. Okay, so if APIs are not conformant to those rule sets, we will be getting an email notification, okay, saying that okay, these APIs are not conforming. Okay, and through API governance, we can have a visual interpretation as well, checking which will be showing us which are the APIs which are getting which are conformant to these rule sets and which are not. Okay, then definitely it will enable the developers to maintain speed, so they don't need to bother about any applying any specific rule sets like manually. Okay, so they can just go ahead to go any point API governance and apply the rule sets from over there. So it will definitely speed up their development as well. Okay, so show you a little demo on that. So we have already these two API specs uploaded over here. So if I go to this API governance, okay. So here in the API governance, we have a concept of profile. So we'll be just creating a profile over here. Okay. So profile like in which you can mention, okay, which is best practices or you want to represent through this profile. Like I want to uh, apply HTTPS policy and HTTPS enforcement through this profile. Okay, purpose is option, so we can skip over here. So next are the pre-built rule sets. Okay, so these are the 8 pre-built rule sets which are provided by MuleSoft. So we have this first one is the endpoint practices. So we have 30 best practices for API. Then we have the async API best practices, authentication security best practices, data graph best practices, HTTPS enforcement, OWASP, so top 10 security risk, which are like which are the requirement of most of the organizations. So recently, like I was working on one of the proposals where client has specifically asked like how do we achieve this OWASP API security? Okay, and there we had proposed like using the API governance. Okay, endpoint API governance. So this is a quite a critical feature which I like this they have been providing over here. Then their open API best practices, and then their required examples. Okay, the examples should be there in the API payloads. So all these things like, and then you can view the details of these APIs, these rule sets in the exchange. See, here are the ones rule sets, endpoint best practices. So over 30 best practices are there. Resource use lowercase, schemas, AP must have title. Everything is over here. Okay, and what are the warnings? Okay, so you can just go through these links and understand what are the different best practices which will suit to your business case. Okay, so here we are using the HTTPS enforcement. So I'll just choose that one. Click on next. So what are the API types we are covering with this rule set, with this profile? Okay, so first one is the REST API, other one is the async API. So here I'll be choosing the REST API. So tags, again, see tags and categories, again, these are related to exchange. So as you know, like we've added tags as well over there, right? So these will appear over here, SAPI, pet store shipping. So if I apply only pet store, if you scroll down, so it will just having only one API. Okay, and then if I select SAPI, because SAPI was common to both the APIs, so you will see both the APIs appearing over here, shipping API and Swagger Pet Store API. Okay, and what is the life cycle? Okay, so whether it's a stable life cycle of the API in the exchange, or whether it's development, or whether deprecated, so we can choose that as well. So we can just choose the stable APIs, and then yeah, that's pretty much. So we can go to next. So you see over here, whenever the API becomes non-conformant, okay, so whom we need to notify? API publisher, so API contact, or others. So publisher, I'm the publisher, or API contact, the contact which I uploaded over the any point exchange, right? So my name and my email ID was there, right? So we can choose any of these recipients. We will choose whenever the API becomes non-conformant, we will get an email. Okay, so this is I'm reviewing. This is the rule set I'm creating, and let's see what happens. Okay, so it has been created. Just go over here again. Hmm. You see over here one profile which we created. So two APIs we are governing. Here is the conformance status, and there is a non-conformance by severity, low, medium, and high. So okay, so these are the APIs, right? So Swagger Pet Store is non-conformant to our HTTPS enforcement, but the shipping API is. Okay, so you see over here profile. So more than 70% of the APIs are conformant, then it will be showing as normal, which will be in green. Otherwise, it will be at risk. So governance status, how many APIs are there? Okay, so it will showing that number. Conformance status. Okay, so conformant will be when the API has passed all the required rule sets. Non-conformant if it fails any one of the rule set, at least one of the rule set it's failed, it will be shown as non-conformant. And then not available, like something went wrong and the validation could not complete. So in that case, it will be not available. Then non-conformance by security. So if the 0 to 40% rule sets are passed, it will be high severity. 41 to 80, it will be medium security. And if 81 to 99% of rule sets are passed, and it will be low severity. So ours is falling in the high severity. Okay. So why it is non-conformant? Let us have a look at the API specs. So you see over here the base URI which we have been defining, it is HTTPS, and here we have the HTTP. Okay, so if we make it as HTTPS, okay, and now go to Exchange. Should have thrown an email also. Let me quickly check my email box. No, it has not come up. Maybe it takes some time to send the email. Okay. Okay, so this was the Swagger pet store. Okay, so you see Swagger stable and it is non-conformant as well. So what we will do, we'll just add a new version over here. So upload an OAS. Just choose a file which we are okay. And just a second, please let me change the version. Let me just make it 2.0.1. Version. Let me just publish it. So now let me go to the API governance again. Okay, you see that now both of them are compliant. Okay, so yep, so that's what I wanted to cover through this API governance part. Yep, any questions, guys, before we move forward to the last topic of the day, which is Flex Gateway?
Yeah, so there is a question in the chat. So API governance can be applied only to specifications,
Yes.
and yeah, and there is another question like, do we have any option to apply that to the actual developed code?
No, as far as I know, it's API governance is applicable to only for the API design specs. Okay, but I am not aware like if that can be used to the actual developed code. Maybe someone can correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay, fine. We
Okay,
we
yep,
can proceed further.
sure. Okay, so this is the last topic of the day, Anypoint Flex Gateway. So Anypoint Flex Gateway is an ultra fast and designed to manage and secure the APIs running anywhere. Okay, it can be integrated seamlessly with DevOps and CI/CD workflows. Okay, to make them the to make it move fast. Okay, it's an ultra fast gateway provided by MuleSoft. Okay, so it will be a single point which you can use to manage and secure the APIs which are running anywhere. So single umbrella. It will be acting as single umbrella. So the request will be coming to Flex Gateway, and then Flex Gateway will be routing this request to the underlying APIs. Okay, so how do we set up the Flex Gateway? So first of all, we review the Flex Gateway prerequisites. So there are some prerequisites that we need to consider to set up the Flex Gateway. Then we install the Flex Gateway. So it can be installed as a Docker container, as a Linux service, a Kubernetes ingress controller. Okay, and then we register the Flex Gateway. There are different ways to register the Flex Gateway, which will be showing in this quick demo after this. Like the auth token you can use, or you can use the connected app, or use any point username and password. And then finally we start and run the Flex Gateway. So, and to enable the load balancing in Flex Gateways, you can add more replicas, okay, to the Flex Gateway. And then finally you publish the APIs and then secure them via Flex Gateway. So all these steps will be quickly going through in the demo. Okay, so there are two ways which you can set up the Flex Gateway. One is the connected mode, or the other is a local mode. So connected mode, the control plane is the Anypoint platform, but in the local mode, we use the local descriptor files to manage the Flex Gateway. Okay, so there might be some cases, right, in which there are some regulatory uh, uh, maybe some regulations, right, or where the companies don't want to share any metadata with the Anypoint platform, right? So in that case, they can go with the local mode, okay, in which no data will be made, which will be sent to the Anypoint control plane. So everything will be managed through the locally managed descriptor files. Okay, then coming on to API policies, so we can apply the policies to API published. Policies can be applied to APIs published to Flex Gateway using the API manager. But in the local mode again, so there'll be no involvement of any API manager, runtime manager, or nothing. It will just be policies need to be applied using the local YAML descriptor files. Logging, so we can have the Anypoint platform advanced logging, which is available in the Titanium license for the connected mode. But in local mode, we can use third-party logging like ELK and Splunk. API monitoring, we can use the default API monitoring or API manager metrics for the connected mode. But in local mode, again, there is no role for the Anypoint platform to play over there. We can just have the third-party monitoring tools like Grafana. Again, FlexWay Gateway management is managed by Anypoint platform, but in local mode, it is managed by local YAML descriptor files. So it's recommended to have the Flex Gateway in the connected mode so that you can have more control over the functionality of the Flex Gateway. Okay, and you can easily manage it from the Anypoint platform. But again, if your business use cases like that, like due to some regulatory requirements, you don't need to send any metadata to any platform in that case, and definitely local mode is the also option provided over here. Okay, so in this demo, I'll be showing how to set the Flex Gateway in connected mode as a Linux service. Okay,
Before that one, like there is a question. So can you explain how it is different from using proxy or mesh service, and
okay,
how does it make a difference?
okay. Yeah, so proxy, like it will be Flex Gateway is similar to like what we it will be acting as a proxy. Yes, so it is similar to what we see in the Azure API Gateway or AWS API Gateway. Okay, so similar things have been provided by through using this Flex Gateway as well. Okay, so it will be acting as a proxy, it will be enforcing the policies which will be defining in the API manager. Okay. What was the other question, Sham? Does this answer your question, or you can unmute the person who is there, like we can have a conversation.
Yeah, because all have that mic access. So yeah, Anuj, if you want to discuss, go ahead.
Yeah, but very like I was saying that yes, it will be acting as a proxy for the underlying APIs. Yes, so it will be enforcing the whatever the policies which we have defined in the API manager. It will be enforcing those policies. Okay, the functionality is like almost similar to what we see in the Azure API gateway or the AWS API gateway. The only catch is here is that like if here we can use to secure or manage the APIs which are developed or built using any of the runtime environments.
Yeah, I think you can proceed, because.
Okay, thank you. So coming on to the demo, so I'll be just be showing you how to set it up as a Linux service. So it will be pretty fast. I know we have like less time, so it won't take much time to cover this demo. So I've just listed down the steps. So first of all, we'll be setting up an AWS Linux EC2 instance. For that, you just need to create an account on AWS, okay, and it will be free tier account. So just go to the EC2 management console in the AWS. I created that earlier, so I just terminate it. Terminate. Okay. So we'll be launching a new instance. So if I go to point platform runtime manager, sandbox environment, here is the Flex gateway. Okay. Add gateway. So you see over here. So we have all these options over here: Linux, Docker, Kubernetes, OpenShift. Okay, under Linux we have Ubuntu, Debian, Amazon Linux 2. So we'll be using this Amazon Linux 2. Okay, so here is all the steps they have mentioned over here. So it's pretty simple to set up the gateway. So install, register, and then start, and then confirm that gateway is running or not. Okay, so here is launch. What is the name? I can just give my Flex AC2. Okay, it's AC2 instance. Okay, scroll down. So we'll be using the browse more mice Amazon Linux 2. Okay, just select this one. Okay, it's a free tier eligible. So again, instance type we can leave as is T2.micro, which is free tier eligible. So key pair, we need to create a key pair because we'll be using to log into the AC2 instance. So just go ahead and create a key pair. You can just give the name AC2 key pair. Okay, and format will be PPK because we'll be using PuTTY to log into AC2 instance. Create a key pair, so it will be downloaded in our downloads folder. Network settings, most of them remain as is. Only thing is that I'll be using HTTP traffic, so I'll just click on this one, HTTP traffic from internet. Yeah, rest of the settings just remain as default. Just click on launch in one instance. In the meantime, it's getting launched. I'll just okay, it's there now. I'll just open PuTTY. It's pending state, so let it come into the running state. So the public IP which will need to log into this. So just copy it. Okay, and we'll be browsing to that ppk key which we downloaded from here, EC2 key pair. We'll just open it. We'll be having a prompt to cache this key. Okay, click accept. Before that, let me just see if it has come to running state. Yep, it has come to running state. So we'll be logging in as EC2 user and be authenticated by the key pair which we just provided. Okay, it's authenticated. So now we have set up the EC2 instance, we have connected to it. Now third step is to use the connected app. So we'll be using the connected app to install it and to install this and start the Flex Gateway over here. So to create the connected app, you just go to the access management. Create app. So on its behalf, Flex app, add scopes. So you need to add three scopes over here. Manage related to the servers management, manage servers and read servers, and then you have to provide the organization. I have listed them down over here. Connected app, read server, manage servers, and view organization. This is the third which you will be having to. Okay. Select the business group. Is only one business group. Environment, we can select both of them, design and sandbox, although we'll be using sandbox here. And then just click on add scopes and save. Okay, so now we are done with the third step as well, connected app. So now fourth one is the install Flex Gateway. Okay, so as you see that in that runtime manager and under the Flex Gateway, those are the commands that were provided to install, register, and start the. So I just copied them over here. Okay, so just be executing them one by one. Yeah, it will take just few seconds to install. In the meantime, yeah, it's completed. So second step is to register the Flex Gateway. For that, we'll need the client ID and secret and the environment ID and the organization ID. So just quickly go ahead and get these values. Just go to the access management. Okay, connected app. Copy the client ID. So here I'll just go ahead and paste it. Copy the secret. Environment ID. Okay, so which is the environment which we need to give over here. So I will just go to API manager, sandbox, and from here you can find the environment ID. Here it is. Okay, it's done. Put it over here. organization ID. Then we can just go to open platform 42A. I think that's a different one. Okay, so okay, here it is. Okay, starting the session, but it has failed because open local user share my MuleSoft registration.yaml, the permission is denied. So our user is not having the full permission to this directory. I'll just have the permission assigned. So we'll be just be changing the mode to 777, we'll be providing the read write permission to our user. So okay, so I'll just execute this command. It's been changed. I'll just go ahead and copy it again. Start it. Okay, it's completed. So now I just go to our Flex gateway. Okay, you see over here my Flex gateway has appeared, 0 replicas, and its status is disconnected because we have not yet started it. So here is the command to start it. Okay, and to verify if it has been started, just use this command. One loaded units. So only one instance is running, and you will see that one replica of my Flex gateway has been created and the status is connected. Okay, so we have completed all the steps over here, set from setting up the EC2 instance on AWS, connecting it, creating the connected app, installing, registering, and starting the Flex gateway. Next step is the last step, which will be just be adding the API, okay, and then testing and securing it. Okay, so for this, just go to the API manager. I'll just go ahead and create a new API. So you see over here, the runtime it's asking for Flex Gateway, Mule Gateway Service Mesh, and the Flex Gateway we can, as I told, the main objective is to manage and secure APIs running anywhere. Okay, Mule Gateway is for Mule specific APIs, and Service Mesh is related to the non-Mule microservices. Okay, so those can be managed through this Service Mesh. Again, this selector gateway, we'll select this one, third one. Okay, so we'll be creating a new API which will be hosted somewhere else, and we'll be securing it using the Flex gateway. You can just Flex API demo, HTTP API. So I'll be just be using one HTTP API, http.org. This path I'll just use v1 API. Theme I'll just use HTTP. Port I will use 80. Yeah, so that's pretty much my Flex gateway. Flex API endpoints is this. Base path is this. Okay, save and deploy. I'll be accessing this API which is hosted on the http.org through the Flex gateway. Okay, so what will, how to make the URL of that? So this is the URL. How do we access that? This is the proxy URL. Okay, host name we have to give, or IP address where we have installed the Flex gateway, the port, okay, from where we are accessing, the base path, and the resource. Okay, so I'll just take the IP address over here, and we are accessing the get method over here. So let's see See, we are able to access the get method. Okay, so the actual implementation URL was http://bin.org get, but from here we have created the proxy URL, and from there we are able to access that. Okay, so now we can secure that API as well. Okay, so the request is getting routed to the Flex gateway, and then Flex gateway is routing it finally to the backend API. So we can apply another policy, another simple policy which I can just show you. Okay, so let's go to the API manager. So under policies, just add one policy. Since we are running out of time, just take one simple basic authentication policy. Okay, you can have any username and password. That I just taken the existing password, so yeah, we can just keep as is. Apply. The policy has been applied. Just again, just 1 second. See, it's now asking for the password, username and password. Okay, you see, now the underlying API has also been secured using the Anypoint Flex gateway. Okay, so yeah, so that's pretty much, guys, which I wanted to cover in this session. So we covered Anypoint API catalog CLI, we covered the API governance, and then finally we covered the Anypoint Flex gateway as well. Yeah, Sham, so that's pretty much from my side.
Yeah, so we have couple of questions. Maybe you can open the chat and you can answer one by one. So I can see couple of questions.
Sure, just a second.
And yeah, it was a great session, Vikas. Great learning.
He has covered like 3 demo in one.
Yeah, it was very crisp and three demos, three meetups in one, three in one.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay. Pradeep Kumar, how do we define port train support from 8081 to 8089 in AWS instance? So that's again like while setting up the security groups, right? So from there, like from it was there, right? So we can allow the traffic from anywhere. So you can check about the configuring the security groups in the AWS. From there, you can define the port range from where you want to allow the traffic to the AWS instance. What makes our decide a normal one? Yeah, Flex Gateway, mainly if you're trying to manage and govern or secure the APIs which are uh, not built in using a MuleSoft, right? So MuleSoft gateways is there, right, to take care of those. But if you want to secure or govern the APIs which are running somewhere else, like they are running on different architecture, maybe they are running on some VMs, other VMs, or they are running on the other containerized solutions. So yeah, you can just you choose the Flex Gateway over here. Okay, so for the MuleSoft, for basically for the non-MuleSoft APIs, if you want to manage, govern, and secure, you can go ahead with the Flex Gateway. Otherwise, for the Mule APIs, the embedded MuleSoft gateway is more than sufficient. How can we add two replicas? Okay, let me just show you. Just a second, where it went. Just 1 second, guys. Here it is. So generally, like by executing this start command, right? we should be able to add the more replicas. Not sure like why it is not reflecting over here, but it should
So in the runtime manager, like when we are setting up that place gateways, there is a, command, separate command to add that one more replicas. Maybe you can go to the add gateway.
hmm, just 1 second, because I had done earlier the, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, okay.
go to the
Flex gateway.
add gateway,
Yeah,
and if you select
okay,
Amazon Linux 2, and if you come down,
okay,
there
okay,
will be
okay,
a
okay.
command. Like I'm not sure, but there was.
No, no, that is the only command sudo flex gateway. So like that's what like I have been, like I have done that earlier. Okay, but not sure like why it is not coming up. It's only one replicas, but I can check on that one after the session, and we'll get back to you. Okay, so who has asked this question? Pradeep. Okay, fine. Instead of using the IP, can we customize? Yes, we can do that. The proxy URL as well. Earlier command is there to add replica. Latest update not able to find. Uh, yeah, it's like we see if we execute that command again, it should come up. So I'm not sure like why it is not come up when I executed it again. But yeah, I can after this session maybe I can take a look again, and maybe then Sham can reply back to you. Okay, okay, Sham. I think it makes sense, right?
Yeah, yeah, fine.
Okay. Okay, instead of using the IP, can we customize? Yes, we can use the URL. Definitely, we can use that instead of the host name of the AWS instance. You can use that instead of IP. While hitting the proxy API directly, is there any way implement DLB concept? So DLB concept is not used over here. Like we are just hitting the proxy API, and then it's just redirecting the request to the underlying API. Okay. In one AWS instance, how many APIs can we deploy and secure? Okay, so yeah, so it's not like that. Like you are just installing the Flex gateway over there, right? So I don't have enough information to cover over here. Like how many APIs like you can deploy in one AWS instance? Yeah, I'm not sure on that one, Tejasvi. Like how many APIs number? I'm not sure. Okay. But yeah, that's a good question. Maybe I can check more on that. But I didn't find any specific documentation where it was written that how many APIs we can deploy and secure in one AWS instance. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have covered all the questions. If there is any question, you can reach out to me in LinkedIn also. And yeah, and thank you for joining us in the weekend. And if anyone is interested to be a speaker, they can reach out to me, Amit or Om Prakash. So we are always looking for a new speaker. So if anyone is just interested to start a speaker, they can also reach out to me. Thank you all for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you,
Thank
Vikas, for
you.
having here. Thank you for the
Thank
great
you.
session.
Thank you. Thank you so much.